almost 800 million. That's the first number in the little box, if you can see that, right? At the far right, you see what our current debt service rate is. A little bit higher than 10 cents, 10.2 cents. That's what that number is beyond the decimal point. 10 cents and about a fifth of a penny more. That's what the 10.2 means. All right. Next year, in 2012, we've already been advised by the Central Appraisal District that our tax value, our property tax value overall in the city is going to increase by about $15 million. So there you see the difference between the $776 million and the $791 million, about $15 million. And we know, according to our debt schedule, of what our existing debt would be for next year at $707 million, and what it would cost for us to get or acquire $2.7 million more in COs, about $101 million. So our aggregate debt service would go up to about $808 million. But given our property values going up, right, by the $15 million, the debt rate for next year relative to pay off our long-term debt over the same 20-year period will actually go down slightly. Instead of it being 10,217, it'll be 10,216. So it goes down about 4.1 millionths of a point, but it goes down ever so slightly. So we're able to acquire the 2.7 million for additional projects. Now, if I can turn you back to number 7, on the resolution, on the second page of the resolution, you actually see what we're going to be able to utilize the money for. And in I, at the top of the page, it says notice of intent to use. And I, it says constructing, reconstructing, improving sidewalks, streets, roads, including bridges, intersections, landscaping, traffic safety, culverts, drainage, and acquisition of land. And then we also, in II, will be able to acquire additional vehicles and equipment if that ultimately becomes a project. We'll be able to install municipal drainage improvements. We'll be able to acquire additional land for construction of additional park facilities or recreation facilities. We'll be able to design and improve on our community center that will open here in a little more than a month. We'll be able to acquire additional technology with it. And then we'll be able to pay for legal and fiscal and engineering fees with this 2.7 million. So that we would be able to do a phase 2, for example, of Championship Bulldog Park. We were able to do phase 2 of our new community center. We would be able to do another phase of our sidewalk, of our driveway slabs across the city, because the overall goal here is to do that throughout the city in all the districts. All right, and if we need to acquire more land, we were able to do that. And we're going to be able to do this, given that the market's right and our values are going up, without raising taxes next year for long-term debt. And that's why I recommend to you that we do it now. The schedule that I showed you before, this page then tells you that if you approve the process, approve this, to do it tonight, that we'll be able to sell and acquire the proceeds, okay, about the 1st of September, and be ready to initiate projects with that money there. You have money right now in your CO accounts, okay. By my best projected amount in your existing CO amount, after we complete our current projects and complete the streets that we're going to do, and I just received a preliminary report that I'll work with our Public Works Superintendent or Director to refine, because I have some questions about it, of what the next set of 15 or 16 streets, 3 or 4 in every district, of what they're going to be. When I take all that into account, you'll probably have somewhere about $2 to $2.5 million left in your CO. That's what we need to maintain over the next 2 years for additional street projects and additional streetlights throughout the city. Because he can probably use every year about $1 million for additional paving. What $1 million gets us now with the equipment that we have and the staff that we have, is we probably get 10 miles of repaving of streets, about $100,000 a mile, because we now do it internally. If we were to bid that out, every mile cost us about $300,000, or triple the amount. So that's why it's a real cost saver to have the staff to be able to do it and have the equipment to be able to do it in-house. If we had to reconstruct a street, of which we can do, all right, at about $150,000 a mile, it's over $500,000 to do that. So we would quickly eat up $1 million in reconstructing if we had to bid it out. But now that we have the equipment, and now that we have the trained staff to do that, and now that they know that work, we're able to do it very cost efficiently throughout the system.
Ms. Bates has a question.
Yes, I have a question. What is the percentage that has been allocated to each one of these?
Well, that's a question for council to ultimately decide. Okay, so that's something that you all will do in the future. But I just gave you examples of projects that we did the initial phase this year, knowing that long term there were going to be more phases of them. The Bulldog Championship Park, our new community center, the additional streets throughout the community, or the driveway slabs. We know those are going to be continuation projects that we're going to need part of the $2.7 million. The rest of it is, and even within those projects, we're going to project out an allocated budget for each of those projects for the next phase, but then there'll be an opportunity for council to decide what we do with the balance across all the districts, and how you decide that is up to you.
So, in probably about 2 or 3 months in that timeline, the council will have to make a decision as to where these COs get allocated.
Yeah, the best picture would be to make that decision before we get the proceeds in September.
That's when the new budget comes in, that you're going to have to allocate?
Well, the new budget will be in October.
In October 1st.
Right. Correct.
It's just the first step.
It's the first step.
Any other questions?
I have on here on this rate analysis that you have,
Yes.
every year you have it based on 100% collection rate. So whoever's had 100% collection rate?
Every year.
Every year?
Every year. Juan Sandoval, the city tax assessor collector, in fact, we've had better than 100%. Though we do have some delinquent taxes, okay, that do occur, that we're catching up on the delinquent taxes. And basically, we've been collecting about 103%, given long past years of landowners or property owners who are now catching up with their delinquent taxes. So last year, for the last 2 years, we've collected about 103% each year.
Each year?
Mm-hmm.
I do want to state this. A year ago, when we passed our first COs with this new council, and the feedback I've been getting at least has been very positive, especially the community center that is being built, the park is going to begin construction here soon, and everybody seems to be excited. I understand this is to make sure that we continue looking towards the future and seeing what every district needs and those quality of life issues that have been sorely lacking in our community. So I get excited about not raising taxes and actually showing this community that you can do bigger budgets and accomplish great quality of life issues.
I don't know if you mentioned what we're looking at as far as growth within the city, homes and tax base for that. How much revenue are we looking at?
Well, we have already on the books given final plats for developments that have been approved, something on the order of 4,000 homes, right there. Okay. And if you just look at 1,000 homes at $100,000 a house, which is it's not a modest house, but it's an average cost of a house. Because I've seen signs all over the city of Socorro, homes at $90,000 and up. So if you use 100,000, that adds $100 million to the values, overall value of the city. That's like, given that our value is 800 million, that's like a 12% increase in new property values that would generate for us something on the order of $600,000 more per year once we have that, just with 100 million. So as development grows in Socorro, those property values are going to greatly increase, and it's going to increase how much revenue that we take in. And it can accelerate the payment of this debt schedule, okay, and provide for us resources to undertake other projects without necessarily buying any more COs. Once we get the housing development started in the city. So from that perspective, that's a great opportunity for the city.
Well, it's a good idea to look at it even closer to accelerating those
Of course.
dollar signs.
And these COs have call schedules of when you can accelerate the payment. Because I work closely with the financial advisor to give us opportunity to do that and not have to wait until the 20th year to pay it off. If it's conducive and practical for us to do.
Yeah, that'll save us some money in interest.
Ms. Reyes?
Can you give us a balance as to what much we have in the COs as of right now?
Oh, sure. I can provide, by your next meeting, I'll provide you an exact balance of how much we have in the 2001 COs for Rio Vista and how much we have left in 2008 and 2010. Okay, sure.
And also, remember that whatever projects we can get also the revenue back to the state, that will also help with paying those projects.
Of course.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Well, you better consider just for the fact that just putting in streets and driveways increases property values. That's the way you got to look at it. That's what you're converting. Anything we put into the city comes back to the city in a roundabout way, and we're looking at dollar signs. And also the standard of living here in Socorro. It enhances property values, it enhances the community life. And so overall, it's a good investment.
And if we can ever get, let me underscore what Mr. Madrid said, now if we get tech dot moving on the sidewalks for our kids, and then with the streets and the driveway slabs and more lighting in all our streets, now we're talking about some real infrastructure for our citizens to enjoy their neighborhoods.
Ms. Reyes?
Do we have any interest from any businesses coming into Socorro at this time?
Well, we have one for sure that they're already in the process of, and they work closely with Mr. Leone. We have one big company, Walmart, is going to come in and is going to create the first, if you will, Latino-style Walmart in the country. And they're going to use this as their model to take it from here all the way to the West Coast. And just envision, a Walmart that's going to have the flavor of what you all know, the Pro Rancho markets that are here in the city. But so that they see that they're losing out on a major market.
Actually, what you said is very true. So I have in mind some projects that I can bring to tomorrow
Okay.
that will bring revenue back to the city and themselves.
Well, I was just going to comment, and I commented on this issue before. We had a big skilled nursing home coming into Socorro. And I'm going to get a hold of the company again, see if we can bring it back. But it was turned out they decided not to come in for reasons that I don't want to mention in front of everybody. But the thing is that I'm going to try to get them back on the bargaining table, see if we can get them interested in coming here to Socorro with the skilled nursing home again. Because they were really interested.
The other thing I would come is we work closely and meet continuously with Mr. Bob Cook, who heads up Redco, okay, one of the economic development nonprofit companies that's been authorized by the city of El Paso. And he advises potential clients, big businesses that may come in, and he sees Socorro, given the land that's available, lots of opportunity to bring in companies into the city. And one of the main factors is our tax structure. And the community itself is a draw. So we work closely, both Mr. Leone and I, with Bob Cook, whenever he has a potential client of a big company coming in.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes, what time frame you're looking at for Walmart, give or take?
The last word I heard from Mr. Leone is they may be ready to start construction late this fall, right?
October.
Over.
And just to deny, just to give you an information, the planning and zoning department is keeping records of the business registration. And last month, I reported to the city manager the registration of 32 new businesses, big and small. So we have a good reception on the community.
Any other questions? Is there a motion or a second?
We have a motion made by Mary Garcia, seconded by Gloria Rodriguez to approve item number 7. Mr. Madrid?
Yes.
Mary Garcia?
Yes.
Gloria Rodriguez? And Maria Reyes.
Moving on to item number 8, discussion and action for adoption of a resolution expressing official intent to reimburse costs of projects. Is there a motion second?
This is a companion resolution that goes with the first.
We have a motion made by Gloria Rodriguez, seconded by Mary Garcia to approve item number 8. Mr. Madrid?
Yes.
Mary Garcia?
Yes.
Gloria Rodriguez?
Yes.
And Maria Reyes.
Yes, it's with the information that they get back with, the percentage that are going to go with the money, so how it's going to be allocated.
Well,
So we just have to read on.
again, that's going to be in conversation with the entire council.
But once we get that,
Yes.
okay.
Moving on to item number 9, discussion and action on introduction, first reading, and calling for a public hearing on an ordinance of the city of Socorro, Texas, amending land use regulations of ordinance number 76, Amendment 1A, section 312C, and section 8, subsection 8.10.
Mayor Council, this is a request for first comment and call for a public hearing on the amendment of this zone classification. And the purpose of this amendment is to make it more complete and at the same time make a clarification of the special uses. On the first section, you're going to see the existing zoning classification, and the second part of the report is the proposed amendment. Mainly is we are including the conditional uses. On those conditional uses, we're putting cell towers, billboards, and water and wastewater facilities owned and operated by a political entity or subdivision.
Council, this is ours before, this dealt with the special zonings with wastewater, and it strengthened the city as far as its ability to regulate such as solid waste and wastewater facilities within our subdivision. However, there was a clerical issue at the planning and zoning department as far as who went first, the council or the planning and zoning. So we, since based on planning and zoning has taken a vote on this, and now it's before us again. So that way there could be no legal challenge to this ordinance. And it's only an introduction and calling for public hearing.
Yes.
It's only an introduction and calling for a public hearing. Is there any questions? Is there a motion or second?
Second.
We have a motion made by Gloria Rodriguez, seconded by Mary Garcia to approve item number 9. Mr. Madrid?
Yes.
Mary Garcia, Gloria Rodriguez, and Maria Reyes.
Moving on to, is there anything for executive?
No, sir.
We move on to item number 12, discussion action on legal advice received by legal counsel in executive session. The motion to leave.
We have a motion made by Gloria Rodriguez, seconded by Mary Garcia, to delete item number 12. Mr. Madrid?
Yes.
Mary Garcia, Gloria Rodriguez, and Maria Reyes.
Item number 13, adjourn.
We have a motion made by Gloria Rodriguez, seconded by Mary Garcia, to adjourn. Mr. Madrid?
Yes.
Mary Garcia? Gloria Rodriguez? And Maria Reyes.
Close the meeting at 5:50.